by Alpecin, the German caffeine shampoo.
Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, 2 sunny cities, 1 break.
This is the Breakaway. For those watching on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, welcome along. Julien Alaphilippe with the first French win of this year's tour. The race has come home, and it's the Frenchman who leads the charge south, wearing the yellow jersey at the end of stage 3. And the man that many had tipped to take yellow by the end of today, Wout van Aert, having to settle for second right now. He is 20 seconds off the maillot jaune with his teammate Stephen Kruijswijk 25 seconds back. We have Sir Bradley Wiggins and Adam Blythe in the studio with us to go through the stage and to take your questions as well. Bradley, we saw Julien Alaphilippe there with a dominant performance. 26 seconds he had on the rest of the bunch, and we might expect those kinds of gaps maybe in week 2. Week 3 when we've got a lot of tired legs, but to get that on stage 3 is something else, isn't it?
Well, I did the finish on the bike, so I did the last 30-40k on the bike. It was a tough finish. You know, it was very similar to Liège-Bastogne-Liège, small roads. The wind, there was quite a lot of wind, but it wasn't quite in the right direction today to cause too many problems in the peloton. But I mean, we all expected that. We knew it was a tough stage today. We all expected the likes of Alaphilippe to attack. He did attack. He pulled it off. He won. Superb. I mean, as I said, you know, a lot of those guys in that front there would have known that Alaphilippe was going to attack. The DSs would have been saying, watch out for Alaphilippe. And as we saw Michael Wood earlier being interviewed, you know, he said, I had good legs, but when Alaphilippe went, there was just nothing we could do. And I think it was simply a fact of Alaphilippe was stronger than everyone else today.
Well, this is the thing, Adam, because usually when a rider goes in an attack like that, we are left scratching our heads and wondering, was it that he took everyone by surprise with Alaphilippe? No. Or could they simply not keep up? And, I mean, that was a show of dominance like no other today.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could have keep up to it. I think when you look at back 40, 50k ago, the bunch was strung out the whole way, and I think no one really moved up. You saw all the GC guys, but the Gruppetto formed quite early, a lot earlier than we thought, so I think it was just a case of being flat out. And you go back and look at all where they positioned the whole day, and Quickstep were at the front the whole day, so he's obviously had an easy ride into that climb, but it all helps, you know. And if he's coming to that fresher at the bottom of the climb, launched that attack, and you know, Michael Woods might have been in 50th for 2k's back, and he might have had to put that big effort in, and there's a lot of things why he could have been better, but at the end of the day he just smashed it.
We have seen Alaphilippe in polka dot before. Now he's in yellow. What can we expect from him for this year's tour?
Well, I don't expect to see the last of him, that's for sure. Yeah, he'll be out there. He's got his stage win early. He's got his yellow jersey. He'll hold it for a few days for sure. But we will see him in the second week. We will see him in the third week. I would imagine he'll try and get the King of the Mountains jersey again. He won it last year. Why not? This could be a very successful tour for him.
He's got another stage in it. I think if it's the forms like it is now, he's got another maybe 1, maybe 2 stages in him, and he can climb up longer climbs as well. He's not going to win the pure mountain days, but he can definitely get over them big climbs. And like we saw him do last year, exactly that. He'll definitely try that again. And I think as he's got the legs, so why not? He's going to do it.
Well, let's hear from his surely delighted team now. Yves Lampaert, his teammate, has been speaking to Matt Stevens.
Congratulations on a wonderful victory for Julien Alaphilippe. Was it always the plan for him to go at this point?
Well, he needed the bonifications to maybe take the yellow jersey, but yeah, I think when he attacked, he hoped to have some guys with him, but he was alone, and yeah, it's phenomenal how he keeps it till the end.
Did you think that the end was going to be so hard? Had you reconnoitred the route?
We did last Wednesday a recon, and yeah, from then on you feel that he was really motivated on this stage, and also in this kind of work he's the best of the world. It's small steep climbs, and it's a bit flesh wallon stuff, so he's the best of the world.
So you're looking forward to defending over the next few days?
Yeah, it will be special.
A lot of work on the front for you, perhaps?
I guess so. It will be me, but I heard Kasper Asgreen made a big crash, so I hope he's okay, because we will need him the next days.
Best of luck and enjoy the champagne tonight.
Thank you.
Well, to kind of quick step, the Belgian team would have hoped to have taken a yellow jersey or a stage win, both preferably in the Grand Départ in Belgium. It wasn't to be. They were the dominant team of the classics, as is always the case. Disappointing Giro d'Italia, though. Is this stage win and this yellow jersey enough to turn their fortunes around now then, Bradley?
Well, I think so, yeah. And as I said, I don't think this will be the last we've seen of Alaphilippe. As Adam said before, he's not someone who gets his stage win and sits back and goes, OK, that's it now for the rest of the race. this will inspire him. He'll feed off this. The more he wins, we've seen that in the last 12 months. You know, that every race he wins, you think, oh, that's it now. He's going to have a break. He's going to have a breather.
It's like
it keeps going.
It's like you said off air with Alaphilippe's character around people. It's sort of, you get stuff out of him. You know, you get a better feeling around him. I think sprint day tomorrow, he'll have that good feeling in the team. He'll have all the good morale. It's the sprint day. Elia needs a win. He's not had one since the Giro. Oh no, he had one in Swiss, but I think the whole team will feed off it, and that's the beauty of Quick Step. When one person wins, another one wins, and another one wins, and another one wins. It's not like a lot of teams go, right, we've done our job now, easy 3 weeks. They strive off each other, and they get morale off each other, and that's how they keep winning bike races. So I think tomorrow, you got to look at Viviani for the win, with Groenewegen again as well, and obviously Caleb, but I think that team now they have that yellow jersey, they're going to be stronger as a unit than they were yesterday.
That's what I was going to ask you, Adam, actually, as a sprinter.
Well, I've answered it.
I'm going to ask you to expand upon that, if you don't mind. You are here, you might as well. Elia Viviani going for the sprint tomorrow. He had such a disappointing Giro D'Italia. How much of a boost can a win on the team bring in those kind of circumstances? Or is it all, we start from zero once again and we've got the stage win to go for?
Yeah, it's not that starting from zero, but it's like we've got that in the pocket, guys. We can do this. We've got the strongest team here. You've got Alaphilippe in yellow. You've got such a buzz around you that it doesn't matter if he doesn't win, but if he does win, it's just another icing on the cake that we've already made. So it's absolutely, he's got a lot of support around him. He's got the best team in the world around him, and they've got that morale.
But they've brought him here also, haven't they, Viviani? It was a disappointing Giro. Not quite sure what happened there. Obviously, he retired from the race. He picked up again in Swiss and won that stage, and then he's at the race. He was never supposed to ride the Tour de France, was he, Elia? No. So he's obviously here. He wants to win. They've got the jersey tomorrow. They've got the right to ride in front. I actually think Elia Viviani can win tomorrow. He seems really relaxed. I had a chat with him on day one. He's always in good spirits. I'd like to see him win tomorrow. I mean, that will be two teams that have dominated this race so far. If he does.
Definitely think he can as well, because I think on that first day the sprint was a little bit uphill. It wasn't a pure sprint, and Elia, as we know, he's a pure sprinter. He's the fast finishes where you got to pick the right wheel and everything, and that's what it's like tomorrow. So Elia or Groenewegen, I think, is going to suit the best tomorrow.
Yeah, just depending how he's picked up from that crash. So we don't quite know what shape he's in at this stage, but.
Yeah, so a sprint stage in store for us tomorrow, but another day, of course, for the GC contenders to stay safe. And one of those, the defending champion Geraint Thomas, has been chatting to Matt Stevens.
Geraint, as we expected, that looked to be an absolutely brutal finale, perhaps harder than a lot of people thought.
Yeah, I just heard there was only about 40, 50 guys there or something, which was surprising. But, yeah, obviously that climb where Alaphilippe went was solid. It was steep, and that was hard. But I just I knew I wouldn't have had the legs to go for the bonus sprint, or at least if I tried, it would have been 100% maximal effort, and I was just not keen for that. You know, when you could see some of the guys that were up there, Alaphilippe, and I was like, you know, let them go for it. And then, yeah, it was a case of just get to the finish then and then try to be safe. And so, yeah, I think it was a good day all in all.
And collectively, there was lots of red jerseys up near the front in the final as well. You must have been pretty happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. The team was strong, as always, and we rode really well together today. So, yeah, good day.
And overall, happy with your condition, coming into good shape?
Yeah, I think, you know, today a punchy day, so probably one where I'd struggle the most with the limited sort of racing coming here, but I was okay. So, yeah, it's a positive.
One last question, and I'll let you finish. Coming into this race with #1 in your back, how different did it feel to coming into the race last year?
Oh, totally different. I think, for one, the press conference, you get all the questions, and yeah, but it's nice though. It's a nice boost to have one on your back, and yeah, I'm going to try and make the most of it.
Nice one. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
So, Bradley, what do you make of Geraint Thomas's demeanour there? He looks relaxed. He sounds relaxed.
He always is. I mean, he as I said, I've been saying coming into this race, G is such a mentally tough rider. He's so mentally strong. He will approach this race the same mentally as he did last year, even though he's the winner. Whereas guys like myself, you know, you take that extra pressure on in your head. But G will, even though he's not in the best condition maybe as last year, we don't know, it remains to be seen, he will attack the race in the same way. And that's what G does. He rides to destruction, and he'll either win the race or he'll finish last. You know, we just don't know at this stage, but he's as cool as they come, G.
Because he mentioned the extra pressure there, Adam. He mentioned the extra media attention and the extra interviews that he has to do. He's not one who gives very much away. He always seems calm on the surface, but does he absorb all of that well, do you think?
I think so, yeah. I think, as he said there, he's not really chatting about extra pressure. He's just talking about extra work. And I think that's how you said with G. It's not really nothing from the press or being the leader of last year. Like you said, he's coming into this race like he did last year. I don't think he's got any more pressure on him than he did last year. He's just got more work to do now. He's got more emphasis on him because he's Geraint Thomas that won the Tour last year. But I definitely think he'll give it a good go, and I think from G, he knows where he's got to be at compared to last year. So I definitely think he'll be at that, if not better, knowing the work he did last year and hoping that he can improve on what the form he had last year. So I think we've got a lot of to expect from him, and I think today is just one of them days where G can sort of have a look and who's around, who's suffering, not a lot, but see where everyone's at really a little bit. You get a sort of a feel for stuff on hard days like these, how people are adapting to the race and seeing how they're feeling and all those different kind of things. So yeah, he's cool, calm, collective character, isn't he?
We've been asking for your questions using the hashtag The Breakaway. And Mark Doak has asked, do you think that Valverde losing 5 kilos is a sign that he's going to do something big during the Tour? We'd expected him to maybe be contending today, Bradley. We didn't see that.
No, I don't think so. I think he's getting too old to win the Tour de France. I think we'll see him in the top 10. I think we'll see him. He will play a part in this race somewhere. But at some point, you know, you've got to let it go. You have to think that he's never done it in the real prime of his career. I know he's still world champion, and you could say that he's still in the prime of his career as world champion, but in terms of grand tours, I think we've seen the last of Valverde. But having said that, he did finish up there in the Vuelta last year. But Tour de France is a different ball game. It's a different pattern to the likes of the Vuelta and stuff. So I think we'll see him play a part in the mountains somewhere, maybe a stage win, but I don't think he'll be contending for the GC.
Adam, Mark Selby has asked, given Bradley's success with Brad on a bike, would Cav in a car be a good concept?
We have to get him a kid's seat.
I know, get him a kid's seat.
Oh, don't start.
Don't start.
Yeah. Just in case he's watching. Sorry, Mark.
Sorry,
that was
Mark.
Bradley.
We'll get you a booster seat, not a kid's seat.
Cav in a car, probably not, no. He'd be trying to talk. Cav's the most social person ever, and he'd be like, hanging out the window like a mechanic trying to talk
but
to
that'd
riders.
Be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Or
Great
trying
TV.
to throttle Doug Ryder, probably.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll get him in the studio instead, possibly. I want to ask you about this yellow jersey, Bradley. This is a special one to you, isn't it? Since you're going home for a couple of days, you brought this in especially.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I don't want to sound like John McCrurick now on some sort of mad stato man, you know, for horse racing.
But you kind of are when it comes to cycling.
I know, because it means so much to me, you know. And 25 years ago today, the 8th of July, my hero, Sean Yates, took yellow for one day only in the Tour. It was his payback for a career riding in the service of other people. 270-kilometre stage from Cherbourg to Rennes. And he got into the break. Jean-Luc Bortolami won the stage, and Sean took yellow by 1 second, which was amazing. He held it. The next day in a bonus sprint, he lost the jersey to Johan Museeuw, who won. Rolf Sorensen actually held this jersey back, so Sean couldn't contest the sprint. Amazing, and an amazing guy. I was fortunate enough to win the Tour de France with him as my DS. A week later, he followed me around London at the 2012 Olympics in the time trial in the car. He's a friend for life. I love him, I adore him, and I wanted to celebrate, you know, in a preaching way. Not in one of them US preachers in the thing that preaching about Jesus, but one of the, you know, just tell the world what the reason why we're talking about the likes of Geraint Thomas and myself and Adam and all these guys is because these guys paved the way for us. You know, not only Tom Simpson before that, Robert Miller, Sean Yates, Chris Boardman, and that's why we're all here on top of a truck.
Well, Adam was so impressed with your stats, he nearly fell off the top of the truck. Adam, history matters in this sport, doesn't it?
It definitely does, yeah. I think, as Brad says, you know, you've got your heroes, and Sean's definitely your hero. I was lucky enough to work with Sean as well, and I think when you're even stood here now next to Brad, you know, I think we get used to you being around, but we have to remember who you are and what you've done. And
who am I? I don't even know. I'd like to know.
You?
Can you tell me? I've had extensive therapy and I still don't know.
But that's the thing, you know, I think history does make the sport, and that's why we all did it. And I remember growing up, and you were a lad, you were like 17, 18, and I was only 6 or 7, but you look up to people like you.
Why
for
do we
some
keep
reason.
talking in northern accents? I don't know.
I have no idea.
But yeah, it definitely does, and I think, you know, the riders now like Alaphilippe are probably paving the way for the young lads of France and being a role model for them as well.
Yeah, and we talk enough about the negative history in the sport, don't we? It's good to celebrate some of the positive sides as well. Positive, no pun intended, I'm afraid. But to Bradley, it has been an honour having you beside us for the last couple of days. He will be back later in the race for an extended period, so that will be fantastic. But for now, thank you. Adam will be back with us tomorrow, and tomorrow, well, we have a sprint stage in store, and it will be a Frenchman in yellow to lead the bunch out of Reims. It'll be a quick, easy turnaround tonight because we do start off from Reims France tomorrow. It is another 200-plus kilometre stage, though. Only 2 categorised climbs to break up the day, 2 Cat 4s, but it is set to be a day for the sprinters with a long, flat drag of around 1.5 kilometres to the finish. Now, if you missed any of today's action, we have highlights of Stage 3 tonight on Eurosport 1. That is at 8 o'clock, and we're back with Stage 4 at the same time tomorrow of 11:15. And that will be live once again on Eurosport 1. And as if all of that wasn't enough, you can also download the latest Bradley Wiggins podcast, the first from this Tour de France. Well, it was a day for the Frenchman on the Belgian team as the Tour de France comes home in the heart of Champagne. There'll be an extra glass raised at the De Koning Quick-Step Hotel tonight in honour of Julian Alaphilippe. Not too much, though. It's another long day in the saddle tomorrow. Join us then.